I go bikepacking all over the world and I film my bikepacking adventures for you at home. And it can be a real challenge as a YouTuber / content creator to get the balance right. You want to have the best quality footage and audio possible, but equally it can be a logistical pain carrying loads of stuff when you're going over a mountain on a fully laden bike. It can start to dampen the experience a little bit. The amount of stopping I have to do to set up the tripod, get the camera angle just right, check the audio levels is huge. So having a piece of equipment that can tick multiple boxes and save time for me is really important. Over the past few months, I've been using a selection of Insta360 cameras from the Go series to the X5 360 camera, and I've been really impressed with the level of quality you get from such a small package, which is amazing for cycling. You don't want to be carrying loads of stuff ideally. For 99% of you out there, those sort of cameras are ideal for the sort of content you'll be making. However, if you want to get the absolute most out of these cameras, there is one piece of equipment that you can get that unlocks their full potential. And this is it. This is the GPS Preview Remote with a built-in mic from Insta360. And you're probably thinking, what on earth is that and how is that going to help improve my content? Let me walk you through this and show you why it is a really interesting piece of kit. Here I have it mounted to the handlebars and it looks just like a basic Garmin or bike computer. And I can fully control the X5 I've got mounted at the front, meaning I don't have to stop or reach over my bars while riding, precariously trying to hit record if I want to take a shot. It's worth mentioning you don't actually have to mount this to the bike. With just a press of the button, you can release the device, and it does give you a couple of different options. You do get in the box a watch strap, which is really cool. You can very easily click it on like that, and if you're not wearing a watch, strap it onto your wrist and actually use it as a watch because it tells the time. But you can also control it that way if you think that's more useful. Once it's connected, you get a preview, as the name suggests, on the screen of what you're actually filming. You can cycle through the settings and make changes on the fly. So if you're wanting to change the shooting mode, or if you're wanting to change the resolution or frame rate, anything like that, you can do it. One thing I really like about this though is that you can actually inspect the 360-degree camera and see, are you in the shot? Are you going to get a good selfie out of it? And it just kind of gives you a bit of a better perspective without having to wait until the footage has been shot to decide whether or not it's going to be worth using. If you've ever tried to use any touchscreen device when it's raining, or if you're wearing cycling gloves, it can be quite a challenge. So although you can operate this under most weather conditions, you do also have the option of pressing this button here and cycling through some of the different modes, which makes it a little bit easier. You can also start and stop the recording just with that button up there. And even when it's recording, if you're wanting to mess around with the preview settings to make sure that you're in the shot, you can do. When you press stop, it automatically saves it to the camera. You might think, well, why do I need to change the settings on this when I've got a camera, perfectly good one right there that I can fiddle with and make the changes directly? Well, that's not always possible. If you have got your camera mounted in some more precarious locations, like down by the forks, for example, or on a selfie stick, or sticking out the back of your bike like a drone mode, then it's going to be very difficult for you to change the settings. This is also especially good if you're planning on doing a flyby or a pan shot where you actually ride past and the camera follows you. You want to make sure that the camera is recording, which you can do with the preview remote, and also you want to check the framing to make sure that it actually looks as good as you think it will before you do the flyby and have to come back and check it and see if it actually worked. Another cool thing is the ability to use GPS with this device. As the name suggests, it has GPS built into it. And the great thing about that, of course, is that it records data when you're out on a ride. It shows your speed, as you can see we're not moving now, and the direction that you're facing, and the time. So that is all time coded and will link directly with your Insta360 camera, which you can then use at a later date. If you want to overlay it, you can then just upload it to the Insta360 studio and have that on the screen if you want to. Something I've never been able to work out with my GoPros. It's not something I typically do a lot of, but I think for things like Instagram, if you were doing a particularly hard training ride, it would be really cool to show people how fast you were going. It also comes with this clip, and you're probably thinking, why on earth would I want a clip? If I'm going to clip it to my t-shirt or my trousers, I'm not going to be able to see the screen. You're absolutely right, but this for me is the best feature of the GPS remote. So what is the best feature about this GPS remote? It's the fact that it has a built-in mic. So many people neglect their audio when it comes to cycling content, specifically cycling content, because the wind is really strong and that can make it really hard to listen to, especially if you're talking to camera. If you're doing a vlog, people can't hear what you're saying and they will switch off, I guarantee it. It comes with a wind muff dead cat like this that you can just clip on, nothing needed there. And you can switch between the preview and the microphone modes, and you can see it's picking me up here. I've switched to the microphone mode. My bike is all the way over there, hopefully you can see that. And just by pressing record now, I can now use this as a lav mic. And you've probably noticed I've been using a lav mic throughout this entire video. This is a Rode Wireless, which is linked up to this camera. But now I'm going to switch from this camera to the Insta360 X5 using just this audio. Ready? Now. So, what do you think? This is just the lav mic coming from the Insta360 camera. I'm no longer using this one, just that one. And the great thing about this is, because it's really good quality, you can easily just take it off your bike if you're using it as a remote, clip it onto your jersey when you're talking to people, if you're doing a vlog for example, and it will record really good quality audio. The dead cat on there will stop wind getting in, and it just will generally sound way better than a built-in microphone on the camera. And to be fair, that one is pretty good, but this is definitely way better. Closer to your mouth, and it has a dead cat on it. And here's how it sounds riding into a headwind. Perfectly good. Ideal if you're doing a vlog or something like that. It's worth mentioning now that we've got a dual audio setup. You can run these two microphones simultaneously. You've got one built into here and one built into the camera. And the great thing about that is you can switch between the two in post. So if you're wanting to capture some beautiful sounds while you're out on the road or on the trail, you can do, and then you can switch back to this microphone when you've got something to say. I found if I'm doing a bike ride where I've got a lav mic built in like I've got here, it's really off-putting. When I'm not talking, all the audience can hear is me breathing and sweaty, which is not nice at all. So by having the two different microphones, you get the best of both worlds. You can be really creative with this setup. Because you've got the dual audio, you could even use this for some sort of podcasting setup. If you're out in the wilderness, you want a basic podcasting system, you could just use the camera next to one person and then the other person wear the mic, and you can switch between the two audios in post and get a pretty decent quality conversation.
Mr. and Mrs. Brown first met Paddington on a railway platform.
Oh, very interesting. So that's it. That's the GPS Preview Remote with built-in mic from Insta360. And I really like this. It makes shooting so much easier. I don't have to faff about carrying this Rode Wireless mic if I just want to shoot something easy for Instagram, for example. And it's just a great piece of kit. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.